Hello, this is Watch All About with another watch review, and in this review we are looking at the Draken Tugela version 2. Now I reviewed the first version, which was a remarkable watch for the money, but there was obviously signs for improvement, but Michael from Draken has taken those signs of improvement on board, and he's come out with the version 2, this version. Now this one in particular is actually a limited edition called the Super Blue. So this watch then is the Draken Tugela version 2 Super Blue limited edition. Now basically the dial is blue. That's different because there is a standard blue version of the Tugela version 2, but it doesn't have a blue dial. It has a blue bezel but not a blue dial, so that's what's so special about this watch in question. So the price then is $349 or £300. So straight away, you know, you're thinking, okay, yeah, this is a reasonable price. Let's see if this watch has, you know, plenty going for it to justify that price. So first of all, a few cool things to mention. So everything that Draken do is inspired by South Africa. That's where Mike from Draken comes from. And you can see that in a number of things on this watch. So the Zulu beadwork inspires the hour markers in the hands. We have a very cool drawing of the Drakensberg Mountains on the case back as well. And just the case shape itself is a nod to the Protea flower as well, a beautiful flowering shape of the case. So we'll obviously discuss these in closer detail, but you know, from looking at it from an overarching point of view, there's been a lot of thought behind it. Very, very cool design features on this watch as well. So, you know, just from straight off the bat, you are getting a very, very cool watch for the money. I'm not going to, you know, hold that back. So let's discuss the specs to start with. So if I just pop it on my approximately 7-inch wrist, size is 42mm in diameter. We have a height of 14mm and a lug-to-lug length of 48.5mm. So, you know, for a dive watch, pretty standard, 42mm diameter, can't really complain about that. You know, all the dimensions are pretty much spot on for those of you who are, you know, expecting a reasonably chunky, weighty watch. Talking about weighty, it is 190 grams, and that's with a good few links removed as well. So it is a real beast. You know, you are getting a good, solid watch, and it feels good and solid on the wrist as well. Talking about dive watch, it is a serious dive watch. 300 meters water resistance or 30 atmospheres. So, you know, this thing is designed to be properly dived with. You know, probably for more than 90% of us will ever go down, it is capable of withstanding. So, you know, that's a really good big fat tick for me. 22mm lug width, and interestingly, the bracelet and the buckle are all 22mm as well, no tape or anything like that. You know, in terms of visual perspective, it provides a much chunkier, impressive kind of look, and I really like it. You know, it really does feel like you've got this beast strapped to your wrist. 2 years warranty, so that's nice and reassuring. And the movement is the Seiko NH35A. I mean, this movement is found pretty much in, I've got to say, 80% of micro brands out there. But, you know, it makes sense. It's hardworking, it's reliable, fairly easy to, you know, to regulate as well. And it's affordable. So, you know, no guesses that, or no surprises that it's found its way into the Draken Tugela version 2 as well. So it has a low beat rate, 21.6 thousand beats per hour, so that's 6 ticks per second, but it has everything else that you'd expect: a hacking seconds hand wind, and automatic capabilities as well. So, you know, what can you expect? It is going to do its job well. So let's talk about the watch in closer detail now, starting off with the dial. So two things that are really impressive. First of all, the incredible loom. I've got to mention that straight off the bat. So we have 10 layers of X1 C3 Superloma loom, and you can see I'm literally in broad daylight, and you can even see the loom glowing there, and the number of things loomed is really cool as well. So obviously we have the hands and we have the hour markers as well. Another very cool thing is the custom date wheel. So the date wheel itself, first of all, is blue, which is nice. Nice to see that it matches the case, the dial color itself, but the numerals themselves are even filled with lume, which is really, really cool and something very, very unusual. On top of that, you know, whilst we're talking about lume, the bezel insert, all fully lumed, and also the Draken logo in the crown is also lumed, and that is pretty radical, and it looks great at night as well. So, you know, lume everywhere, and loads of it as well. So really impressed with that. You know, the design as well, it's nice to see a unique design, and it's so cool to hear you know, the inspiration for that as well. It has genuine inspiration, Zulu beadwork. Yeah, you can see it, it makes sense. So it's just very good. You know, in a world where there's so many kind of fluffy stories, it's refreshing to see a real genuine story and see that reflected into the watch. So kudos to Draken, very cool on that point. And the hands as well, cool, sort of like plunger kind of hands, you know, the kind of hands you'd see on a Plop-Off style kind of watch. Again, very welcome here, a welcome change to the usual style, sort of sword hands. You know, it is a sword hand technically, yes, but it is very accentuated, shall we say. And I love the orange splash on the minute hand, which tallies up with the border around the minute, around the date window as well. So plenty of thought gone into the watch, and you know, just the general fit and finish of the dial as well, top notch, can't complain at all. Moving on to the case then. So the case and the bracelet are all in this very nice bead blasted finish, which I really like. It's nice to see this kind of finish. You know, you see sanded brushed, and you see polished a lot. So again, to me, it's very refreshing to see something a little bit different. The general shape of the case, whilst is basically a barrel shape, there's very subtle differences which make it really nice. And one of them is this inspiration of the Protea flower. Just this flowering effect on the side of the case is absolutely gorgeous. The way the case comes outwards, but also the seamlessness where it joins with the bezel, and the grip of the bezel, so easy and so nice to use as well. And then the top of the bezel going into the domed sapphire crystal, again seamless and very it's really nice to behold as well. So, and as you can see, everything is really clean and crisp. This is a press version, so it has been worn a lot and it has been bashed around a lot, but still, even so, you can still see just how clean and crisp all of these corners are. Just so much thought into every single angle. I absolutely love the shape of it. And the crown guards, even something like the crown guards, are very nicely and you know, I want to say sort of a little bit aggressive, but a little bit elegant still. And that, I think, encapsulates the whole watch. It's aggressive in the way that it's shaped, but it's done in such a beautiful, elegant way. Draken engraved on the side. That may remind you of a certain Invicta. However, you know, it's done in quite a subtle way. It's nice. It is engraved to good quality, but obviously it's not too deep and it's not too brash, which is nice. Just moving on back to the bezel and the bezel insert. So the grip is really lovely. And you know, I'm sure you can appreciate just from the video just how nice this grip is. But the sound is pretty nice as well. Easy to use, good, get good purchase on it because of that grip. And the insert as well, all these markings are very nicely engraved and filled with lume as well. So the crown then, we have the Draken logo engraved and filled with lume. We have some really nice knurling as well. As you can see there, easy to use. If I just unscrew it, pop it out, you can see there just how easy it is to use. Nice manufacturing as well, you know, it just feels really good in the hand when you're using it. Good dimensions as well, you know, it doesn't look too big that it looks silly, but it's big enough to be used easily. Moving on to the case back then, so I mentioned this previously, very nice little ode to the Drakensberg Mountains, which is where Mike originates from. So nice deep stamped bit of detail there, and then some other information engraved around the outside. Moving on to the bracelet then. Very aggressive, quite a chunky bracelet, as you can see there. Very thick links, nice angles on it as well, so it does, you know, it's a real feast for the eyes, despite it being matte in its finish. You know, these various angles do provide a bit of reflection, alternation, as you can see there. Depending on the angle of the light, you get a nice array there. And if I just close the bracelet, the buckle, you can see it's double locking, so we have the top flap with the Draken logo engraved on it. You can lift that out, press the two buttons to open it. There's the innards, and we have the Draken logo engraved there as well. So that's all the different bits discussed in detail. Let me get a lot closer with the macro lens on, and we'll have a look at it in closer detail. Starting off with the dial, then you can see our logo nice and crisply printed. See our Zulu inspired hour markers as well. They are just painted on, as you can see, but everything is all very nice and clean and crisp. Very nice bit of detailing around the date wheel and window as well. As you can see there, nice orange border, and the blue date wheel itself, and the loomed numerals as well. Got some Tugela automatic print work there. Again, nice splash of orange on that. And you can just see all of these hour markers, very clean and crisp. Moving on to the hands, nice little snowflake seconds hand. Again, a splash of orange, which is really nice to see that continuation of the colour. Dumpy hour hand, and very striking orange minute hand there. You can see good paintwork around the outside, and again, thick loom. Moving on to the bezel. So here we have our bezel insert. Again, all these numerals pretty clean and crisp. The bezel itself, here we have the grip. You can see there, really nice design on that grip. And our Draken word engraved on the side there. You can see the sort of seamless link between the bezel and the case working together nicely. Here's one of our rather angular lugs. And if we flip it over this side, we'll see our Draken logo engraved in the crown. Lovely milled grip on that, and you can see our crown guards as well with these sort of chamfered edges everywhere, which again is a really nice touch. And just the bead blasted finish is really nice. So the case back, here's the Drakensberg Mountains, nice deep stamp, bit of detail on there, some various bits of some very specific bits engraved around the outside as well. And then if we check out the bracelet itself, you can see we have that same bead blasted finish to it, nice chamfered angular edges, thick as well, standard pins, not screw-in pins. Keeping in mind this is a press piece, so it is very well used. And the buckle, there's the Draken on the top bar, and the logo on the main buckle section. Flap it open, here's one of our buttons, press that on the other side, open it up, there's a little nipple on the inside of the bracelet there. Okay, there we have it. So the Draken Tugela V2 Super Blue Limited Edition. You know, I've got to be honest, it is very difficult finding anything negative to mention about this watch. It has oodles of charm, loads of character, it packs one hell of a punch for $349 or £300. There is maybe one or two very minor niggles. First of all, the sapphire crystal, it is domed. Perhaps it could be a little, could have a bit of a better anti-reflective coating, because, you know, in some lights it can be a little bit reflective. That's certainly, you know, certainly not to say that you can't read it. It's not illegible or anything like that, but it's just one of those things that if there was anything I'd like to see improved, that was probably it. And then the other one is more down to personal choice. With a watch like this, it is quite bold. So it's probably not the kind of watch that you could wear 100% of the time, if you know what I mean. It's not a watch that could easily pass as a smart watch, should I say. Whereas if it was all black, you know, if you went for one of the more traditional versions, then that possibly could. So you know, the bright blue may limit it in terms of where and when you can wear it. So again, very minor niggle, and you might be sitting there thinking, well, stuff that, yeah, I can wear it anywhere. I'm not bothered at all. In which case, you know, it's not an issue at all, is it? But you know, what you're getting for the price is so lovely. I mean, the general fit and finish all over is top notch, and you can see for yourself, everything is so sharp and clean, from the dial all the way through the case, all the way through to the bracelet as well. I love the matte bead blasted finish. I love the design as well, from the top of the case to the bottom. Absolutely gorgeous. You know, so much inspiration there, and I love the genuine story behind it more than anything, because it's very rare that you get a watch with genuine inspiration nowadays, and it's so obvious to see as well. So that is really impressive, and I love what Mike has done here. Just the specs in general, great as well. Seiko NH35A movement, can't go wrong with that. Sapphire crystal, yes, a little bit reflective, but you know, not the end of the world. And the lume is sensational. 10 layers of X1 C3 superluminova. That is a real big plus as well. 30 atmospheres, 300 meters water resistance. Again, you know, what can you say? So much watch for the money. So there we have it, the Draken Tugela version 2 Super Blue limited edition. I absolutely love it, and I'm sure you would be very impressed with it if you were to get it as well. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and also post your comments on this video, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Bye bye.